So technically today is day 6, but we're taking a 0. So we spent most of the day down in South Lake Tahoe. Went back to the post office, sent ourselves some stuff up in Tahoe City. We're taking full advantage of like not having to carry a ton of stuff. So we're only carrying like 3.5 days of food at a time. And yeah, so now we're up at the California Alpine Club. They have a property up here. It's pretty cool. Day 7, I guess first check-in, not really morning check-in. I mean, it is morning. But we are currently eating breakfast, or just finished eating breakfast here at Lake Aloha in Desolation Wilderness. I think it's about a little bit after 10. We hiked in 7 miles here. The map says 8, but I don't believe that it's 8. So, but just taking some time to really enjoy like how beautiful this space is. Not 100% sure what we're gonna do today in terms of mileage or our plan.
Thank you.
Is he literally right behind me?
It was.
You see that little chipmunk? Doesn't give a shit. Doesn't give a shit. It's like sneaking up. We're gonna take it a little bit mile by mile today. We'll finish up here in a little bit. Don't want to rush off too soon and not enjoy the space. And yeah. It is very hard to make it through Desolation without stopping a bunch because there are so many awesome lakes everywhere. So we've gone about 11 miles, I think. It's like 1-ish. We just stopped for lunch. I took a little bit of a spill coming around Heather Lake, which is the lake just north of here. Or not north, but just up the trail from here. I think that's actually west where we are right now. But anyway. Yeah, so banged up my knee and my elbow hurts like a mofo, but it is all right. Just a reminder to take it a little bit slow. We're coming into terrain that it's like much more similar to sections on the John Muir Trail and things like that, where there's just like a lot more rocks and talus and uneven footing and things like that. And sometimes I just forget that I need to take it slow in spots like that, especially because my leg that's most affected by MS is just like really taxed on the uneven surfaces. And so my footing's not quite as solid. That being said, I'm not sure exactly what happened when I fell. Like my foot must have just gotten caught on something, but I fell in like not the best stop, or the best spot, just like on a bunch of rocks. So we came another like half a mile down or mile down after I fell. Did a little bit of mini glissading down some of the snow for fun. Although I glissaded directly crotch first into a small sapling, which was a little bit of like insult on injury, but it was mostly funny.
Mark, how was the rest of day 7?
It was good.
Tell me about it.
Well, Curly fell and then puked and rallied.
I didn't puke.
Took some Advil and took the bite off. And we went uphill for a while. We listened to a really good podcast, Twilight of the Azri. We're not done with it yet. Got to the top of the pass. Saw some cool views. I took a really good picture where the sunbeam has like a rainbow in it, which is pretty sweet, pretty neat. And then there was not really snow on the other side. So again, no snow. Snow not a factor. And then we trudged down here. And it's a pretty good lake. It's very cold.
So we made our way down to Dick's Lake from Dick's Pass. We decided to stop here. We ended up going, I think, about 17 and a half miles today, which seems like a good distance. And the camp spot we found here is like absolutely incredible. The snow on the backside of Dick's Pass was really not that bad. Most of it was like there was a fair amount of it, but it wasn't like in really steep areas, and like where there were some sort of like steep berms you could just like slide down on your butt. And then like there was one really big long switchback that had snow on it, but we just cut down through the woods. It's kind of like the terrain was not that technical, and like at the end of the day, if we just walked towards like the east shore of Dick's Lake, we kind of knew we'd get to where we were going. So, and our campsite here is absolutely gorgeous. It's going to be the last lake we camp at, most likely, or the last nice lake anyway. Because turns out there's not that many cool lakes on the Tahoe Rim Trail, except for in Desolation Wilderness, and then Star Lake was also really, really beautiful.
And Round Lake.
Oh, that's right, and Round Lake. I'm having lake amnesia. But anyway.
Pretty tired for a 17-mile day, though.
Yeah. I actually feel pretty good. I feel like you're more tired than me today.
Oh.
But yeah, so tomorrow I think we're going to go about 18 miles. We had planned to do this section in 3.5 days, and I think it's probably going to be more like 3 or 2.5-ish. But it's cool. We'll get into Tahoe City probably not tomorrow night, but the following evening. It is the morning of day 8. So I'm just sitting right in front of Dick's Lake. This is where we camped last night. We're getting ready to head out in just a couple minutes here. It was windy all night last night. I feel like we've had 3 lake campsites, and 2 of them have been just like windy, which this is the second time this has happened to us. The first time was when we were on Walker Pass a few years ago. But the like sand was blowing underneath the tent, and then like just the particles of sand that are small enough to get through the mesh were like blowing in, but in pretty substantial quantities. So Mark and I both got like night-long microdermabrasion treatments last night. But yeah, so today the plan is to head about 18 miles up past Barker Pass, but we'll see what happens. We're gonna hit like a couple more lakes this morning in Desolation, and then we'll kind of, still be in the Desolation Wilderness area technically, but not in the more populous or popular areas of that for a while. As soon as we hit like 2 miles from here, we hit Middle Velma Lake, and then after that pretty much we probably won't see a lot of weekenders. So here we go. Checking in from the end of day 8. Yeah, I'm losing track of the days. End of day 8, 7th day walking. So today we hiked about 20 miles from Dick's Lake to about 14, maybe fewer miles away from Tahoe City. So we're at this beautiful campsite. If you can see me behind me is Lake Tahoe. And then down here is this really nice creek. And then our campsite is right back there, but you can't see. Really nice campsite. It's probably one of my favorites, though we've had a lot of really beautiful ones, so it's hard to complain. So tomorrow we're headed into Tahoe City. Got to climb up to Twin Peaks first, and then a very long descent down into Tahoe City. We're probably just going to get a hotel in Tahoe City tomorrow. kind of like letting this be a very different experience because we're not really that remote in the wilderness. So just gonna allow this to be a cool trip where we're out doing some hiking and camping and, you know, seeing the lake in a lot of different cool ways, and then also like eating meals in towns and stuff like that. So looking forward to that, though I can't break the cardinal rule and food fantasize about what I'm gonna eat tomorrow until tomorrow. So Mark, are you on the edge of your seat wondering what I'm gonna eat tomorrow for dinner?
No.
Mark doesn't care. Say it again.
I said I am curious, though not on the edge of my seat, because what you want to eat might dictate what I'm able to eat.
You see. All right, pretty early in day 9. We just went about 2.5 miles up to the top of, I think the top of our climb for today. I'm sure there will be some ups and downs, but we're pretty much just going to be on a long descent into Tahoe City from here. But super beautiful spot. You can see Lake Tahoe behind me. Moving this way down that direction is, we just entered into the Granite Chief Wilderness. And so we're about to hit the spot that the PCT, or the Pacific Crest Trail, and the Tahoe Rim Trail split. So for the last 50 miles or so, they've been the same trail. And Mark and I actually have hiked this whole section a couple years, like 5 or 6 years ago. So this section behind us of the PCT, which goes behind Squaw Valley and Alpine Meadows, just traces that ridge in the Granite Chief Wilderness and is really, really beautiful. I'm almost a little bit sad that we're not doing it right now, but instead we're gonna go this direction. So Twin Peaks is right here behind me. And we're gonna trace all the way down around here behind Grand Lebacan, go around this knob and head down to Tahoe City. So we still have another like 12.5 miles before we get to Tahoe City, but mostly downhill. Yeah, so should be a pretty good day. It's been beautiful so far. It's funny to look back on things because I remember this climb up to Twin Peaks being really difficult. And it was not very difficult this time. But part of that is probably also because our map reading skills at the time were not very good. And we misinterpreted and thought we had one set of switchbacks down and then not another set of switchbacks up. So we were all a little bit caught off guard by the climb. But beautiful up here, so I'm gonna go enjoy it. Tell us a little bit about the history of this pizza oven.
This pizza oven was built by the Anasazi, and since then carefully taken care of by the Anasazi Tahoe Association, the ATA.
Are those...
and it's been maintained ever since. And people come up here, especially on the summer solstices, and make classic Anasazi pizza.
Are those baking sheets a artifact?
No, but the glass is. It's about 600 years old.
Yeah, that the beer bottles of our ancestors past.
It's debated about whether it's beer bottles or marinara sauce.